Alright,
Selfie.
page 2 of your packet covers your simple vocab start and then also your first set of Punnett squares. Okay? So the first section at the top is more about language, vocab. And I tell you what, in this project, it is crucial that you understand the vocab because you're going to hear it a lot. And it'll help things go faster if you know what they're talking about. Okay? So, we're trying to identify things, whether they're homozygous or heterozygous. So something is homozygous. What does that mean?
They're the same.
The alleles are the same. Those letters are called alleles. A-L-L-E-L-E-S. Alleles. So the alleles are the same. I'll be very politically incorrect right now and help you remember that. There's a root word right here that helps you remember. Okay? Heterozygous, homozygous. Heterozygous is just like heterosexual, male, female, homozygous. 2 males for homosexual or 2 females, right? They're the same.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how you remember it. So homozygous, same. Doesn't matter if they're uppercase, doesn't matter if they're lowercase, they just have to be the same. Heterozygous, different. Okay? Now, on the next page, when you start working on the next section, it's going to have you say whether they're dominant or recessive. Okay? So, big R,
Dominant.
homozygous, dominant. Very good. Okay? Little r, homozygous, recessive. What do we call that one?
Homozygous, hetero.
It's just heterozygous. There's no dominant, there's no recessive. It's just heterozygous because they're different. Okay? So that's how you do your first section. Now, the second section has you work with those terms and figure out how to write them. So you're simply practicing, you're kind of reversing it. So if I say somebody is homozygous tall, which is your first one, you know homozygous means it has to be the same. And tall is dominant to short. So what are the 2 letters you would write?
Capital T, lowercase s, or T.
T. Capital T, lowercase t.
Capital T.
Capital T, because they have to be the same.
They have to be the same.
Homozygous.
Okay.
No, you do not get your.
So let me back up and give you maybe some information about chromosomes that will help. Okay? So in the human body, you have how many chromosomes?
46.
Anybody know? You have 46. You have 23 pairs. All right? So that's pair number 1, that's pair number 2, pair number 3, etc. Okay? When we talk about alleles, what are we talking about? Well, let's say we're talking about the trait for hair color, and I have homozygous dominant brown hair. That's my hair color. Let's just say, and I don't honestly know where it's found, let's just say hair color is found on the first chromosome. So what we're saying with these 2 B's is right here on both of these, because these are identical chromosomes, just one's from mom and one's from dad. Right here is the gene for hair color, right at the top. Okay? And on this gene from mom, it's a big B. On that gene from dad, it's a big B as well. That's what we're saying. So those letters always have to be the same. Like, as far as you can't use a B and an H or a T and an S, because anytime you change the letter, you change the trait. Okay? So if I were to say, well, I have homozygous dominant brown hair, but I have heterozygous brown eyes. We can't use B's again for eye color. So let's say we use E's. Brown's dominant. So I have heterozygous brown eyes. But homozygous dominant brown hair.
How do you have heterozygous eyes? Like, how do you get the little E?
That would be from dad.
That's from the recessive.
That's a recessive trait from my father.
Okay, understand. Because he doesn't have brown eyes.
He might have brown eyes. He might be the same as me. He might be capital E lowercase e, but he passed on the lowercase e.
Oh, okay.
We'll get more into that. But that's what we're talking about. The alleles are these genes, the versions of the genes. Okay, so if somebody is short, tall is dominant to short, how do we write short?
Little t,
No, big T, little T.
Little T, big T.
Well, let's do this. Big
No,
T,
you
big
can't
T,
do-
are
you
they
can't
tall or
do little
short?
T.
Tall.
All. So little T, little T.
Big T, little T.
Tall.
Tall.
Okay.
No. Right? Don't switch letters.
So just little T, little T. I said that. I said it first. That was my first choice. Always get the first instinct, guys.
Keep in mind, we're doing regular, basic Mendelian genetics. Mendel's version of genetics. There are always exceptions to rules. But we're starting with the basics. Okay? Alright, so let's do a little word problem here. You have a father with heterozygous brown eyes who marries a woman with blue eyes.
Wait.
What's dad's genes? He's
Big E.
heterozygous for brown eyes.
Big B.
Let's use B's for brown. So he is what?
Big B.
Big B what? He's heterozygous for brown eyes.
Yeah, big. Oh, okay.
Heterozygous is different.
Oh, yeah, heterozygous.
Right? And he marries a woman who has blue eyes.
She heterozygous too? No. She's homozygous, okay.
She's homozygous but recessive. Okay. So these two get married and have a kid. We need to know what the options are for the kid.
50%.
No.
How do I set this up? Okay, so I'm going to do a Punnett square. I'm going to put one set of genes on the top. I'm going to do the other. So these went there, and these happen to go there. You could have crisscrossed them, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Okay? And now I'm going to see how, because each one of these, why do we do this? Well, because in this case, the dad could offer the big B or the little b to the gamete. You don't know which one the gamete's going to get. And then same thing for mom, only both of these happen to be lowercase b's. So what do we get? Oh, actually, you were right. I was thinking of a different cross. Oh, on your second one.
50-50.
No.
Yeah.
50-50 when you said that. Now, your paper's going to ask you about ratios.
Oh, yeah, okay.
This is a fun part. So, what is the genotype and phenotype ratio? Well, what the heck is a genotype or a phenotype, right? That is a genotype. That is a genotype. That is a genotype. Brown eyes, blue eyes, brown eyes. Phenotype. Phenotype is the physical characteristic. You're tall, you're short. It's something I can see. Okay? I can see that you have brown hair. I can see that you have blue eyes. I cannot see if you're big B, or big B, little b. First of all, that'd be weird. Right? I can't see your DNA, but I can see what happens because of your DNA. So genotype is the DNA. It's the genetics. Phenotype is a physical trait that you can see. Alright, so the ratio, you're counting boxes. You're basically saying for every chance that there's a big B, little b, there's two chances that you're little b, little b. Alright? So in this case, I see big B, little b here, so I'm going to write that down. How many of these are there?
Two.
There's two. So there's two there, and then I see little b, and there's two. So you can leave it like that. You don't have to reduce. So it's a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-2 ratio, both of the same thing. For every chance you could have a kid with a big B, little b, you could also have a kid with a little b, little b. So you have, in this case, these parents have an equal chance of having offspring with brown eyes as they do with blue.
So when we did like number 17 on
Yes.
the checkpoint, there's 3 different outcomes you can have.
There are, yes. In that case, so you do, like, you just keep going on your ratio. You should have another one right here. You count boxes. You can never have more than 4 numbers, right? They can never add up to more than 4 because there's only 4 boxes. So you'd have like a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. Now, phenotype ratio, I know this is brown, this is blue, this is brown, this is blue. And I usually write them in because that helps me. So I see that there's 2 brown and 2 blue. And yes, I do want you to write the words out because that helps. So again, in this case, they happen to be the same. That's not always the case. But the phenotype and genotype ratios are the same for this one, 2 to 2. Questions on that?